Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be looking at TRB. This is going to be focusing in on the smaller time frame counts. We did do a higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to focus in on the bullish idea here, where we're looking for this as a 1-2, looking for this 192. Now within this, we were discussing the potential that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 completed, and we could actually be starting our decline for this 22.38 to this 11.96. Now we don't have a lot of price action happened on the top end of this move yet, so it's hard to confirm whether this is actually going to get this bigger breakdown, but we're going to go over a couple of the ideas where we could actually still see some extension within these waves. Now within this idea here, what we'd be saying is that potentially we could be looking at this move as complete. Now until we actually take this area here of this 34.57, I'm still going to be on the lookout here that we could potentially count this slightly different. Now within this idea here, what we could then argue is that this could actually be 1, 2, and we have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we could actually still be looking for this wide fourth wave. So even if we do see a bigger drop here towards this 43.59 to this 27.35, we need to be on the lookout here that we could still find support and look to rally in this additional fifth wave. Now some areas of interest for this would be this 33.69 and this 27.35, because this would be to the actual starting point if this is a triangle of this next leg to the upside. Alternatively, lower down here, this 24.62 could align with coming back into some of these lower levels here. So going to be keeping an eye on this area to see whether we get some kind of an interaction with this, and if we find support, we could still look to rally in this fifth wave. So at the moment, I want to see whether we continue to break down, find support in this area, and then look to rally to the upside. But even until we actually break this zone of this 34.8, we can't rule out the idea of an extension more locally. So within this idea here, what we'd then be saying is that potentially from this point here, if this is where our wave 5 starts, this could actually become 1 and 2, and then we could still look to rally. So the key zone here for me is going to be this 4760 to this 3940. If we do hold this level, we could potentially look for a turnaround here, where we could still be looking for this higher degree wave 3 here. If we do see this play out, looking at the current structure, it would make more sense that we see something like this and see a bit of a deeper push down. So potentially looking for this 44.03 to this 39.40. If we do start to break back above this high from where we currently are, this would change our target level. We would then be looking for 136.86 as our 1.618. But if we do come back down lower here, this obviously changes our 1.618 measurement. So it'll be important to see how this reacts, and then what we'd be looking for is, if we do continue to hold this low here, we can look to just actually directly rally to the upside even further here. And what this would then mean is that potentially this fifth wave is looking to extend. Now if we do see something like this, what we need to just bear in mind on the higher time frame here is that if we do see a push up in that way, this could be enough to actually push us up directly to this 1.618 here, which is sitting at this 192.25. So as long as we hold that point of the 34.20, we can look for this to potentially still be looking to complete higher up here. If however we start to lose that, then the thing I'm going to be looking for is whether this white support box holds here at this 43.59 to this 27.35. If we start to lose this white support box, the next likely thing then, if we are looking for continuation to the upside in an impulse, would be looking to find support lower down here at this 22.38 to this 11.96. If we start to lose this 786 level, we need to be careful of the more bearish case here, where we could be looking for continuation to the downside, and this is just a corrective move. Now within the higher time frame video, we just discussed this idea of this bigger W, X, and a Y, and we've come right up into this typical C wave rejection area. So we need to just be careful that even if we do push a little bit higher here towards this 104 zone, and unless we actually hit that impulsive target, or alternatively find support again above this low, we could be looking out for, this bigger sell-off to the downside. So we need to just be very careful on the retracement here and see how these waves continue to react. So at the moment, like I said, still looking for that potential of an extension here. If we hold 34.20, if we lose that, then it's going to be this support box here. If we lose that, then lower down, we're going to be looking for that support again. Coming in and having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we've printed a higher CPR. We've actually come back down now into this S1 line. If we do look to lose this level, we're going to be watching this zone here of this 42.62 as a potential turnaround point. If we do manage to find support here, we could still find resistance today here at this 54.41 to this 58.86. If, however, we just see this move complete to the downside here and we start to rally and get back above these central lines, targets to the upside would be 70.78, 80.73, 94.63, and this 103.95. If we do look to continue to break down here and this starts to turn into a bigger impulse, what we could then see is the potential of a move down towards this 32.93 area, where I'd be looking to see how we react, obviously coming back down into some of these lows. If we do look to push down lower than that today, we have targets of this 23.44 and this lower one here of this $9.50, but we'd have to see whether we actually get anywhere near those lower targets. We could find support higher up. Now, having a look at the weekly CPRs, we can see that we had these as an inside bar. Now, what we did here is actually see price come back into these and retest all the levels that are here for our weekly CPRs. We are currently finding support here at this 48.69 temporarily. If we lose that zone, going to be keeping an eye on this 42.33 as a potential support zone, which would align with coming back into some of these highs here. If we do fail to hold that zone and we do look to push down, going to be keeping an eye on this 34.54 to this 32.15 as a lower support zone here. And then if we start to lose that this week, targets to the downside would potentially be 26.97, 18.17, and this 11.52 as potential downside targets for this week. Now, moving over and having a look at the monthly CPRs, we've actually come and blasted through all of our targets for these. But what I would be looking out for is that if we do see a retracement this month and we see price come back down into some of these levels, we could potentially find support here, 24.89, 20.68, and this lower level here of the 17.56. Though we don't have a lot of time obviously left for this month, so we will be getting some new monthly CPR lines. And if these continue to print to the upside, this could actually be a bullish sign here, where we could be seeing an indication that the trend is changing here and we could continue to push to the upside. The key thing that we'd want to see if this is the case is we want to start to see price maintaining these S1 lines and then finding support and then continuing to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you will find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Everyone have a great day. We will see you in the next one. Take care.